Good morning. Happy Friday. And we have the beginnings of a turn here, right where it was supposed to happen. But it's only 9 o'clock. So we don't know it's going to look like this at the end of the day. And we have to keep that in mind with any setup that we're looking at, that a bar is not complete, even if we're looking at a 5-minute chart. This could turn into a bottoming tail bar at the end of the day. Still in an uptrend, deep retracement on the hourly chart, coming down to major support, which by our rules of MTS says the trend is now in question. We'll see if it breaks here. There's going to be buyers there at 4,400. It's a whole number. There's a swing low there. It's got a little bit further to go. And it's pretty messy trading on its stair step down to get there. So this is what we call minor support. That is subjective as a reference point, but it is used. Why do we say that? Because it was traded below and back above. It was shot right up like a rocket ship and got the rollover. And so now it's just kind of like stair stepping. It's a good, but really slow, kind of whippy, erratic type of move lower. And I cannot get this IB to close that daily lineup thing. Pain in the neck. They got something going on there. So I can't get quotes on SPX. Anyway, looking at SPX, let me get the spiders first. I want to see the size of the gap down. Let's call it 440. That is a little ugly for a gap down, huh? Gapping to the low of a relatively wide range green bar. Oh, 441, 440. Yeah. No, I haven't looked at news this morning, but I don't know. Markets just decide that, hey, that move down was something to pay attention to. And there's just sellers here today. Debbie, what are you doing up so early, Debbie? Good morning. All right. So getting a gap down almost to the bottom of a green bar that within a downtrend, pushing up into resistance and a bearish open. And so the size of that is kind of wide, but I guess we'll see how much it can bounce or not in the first 15 minutes or so. What else more could he say, McGraw? You know, what else more could he say that could affect the markets? I don't think much, but good news. He can reiterate that he's not going to do anything, I suppose. All right. Qs 370-ish, gapping below a green bar. I think the expression put a fork in it, it's done, applies here. That's my initial thought, coming up into the gap fill and a gap under this green bar. Yeah, I mean, I always have to think both ways because otherwise you can get caught into something totally unexpected. But could it get a green bar next to it, a gap down? Yeah, but historically, such a pattern and a gap under a green bar doesn't go back up to the highs. So starting off with a relatively pretty bearish scenario here. And we'll be very interested to see where this thing ends and what this weekly bar looks like, because that's going to have implications for next week. And diamonds, 345, 6. Okay, that's a pretty good gap down. Bear sandwich, breakout failure. Yeah, I think, Detective, you said, or was it? I think you said today it was going to be a down day yesterday. I think you said that. Mid caps. That doesn't move too much pre-market. Just come up into resistance. It doesn't move too much pre-market. And bonds hanging up there. Well, interest rates, not bonds. Other futures. It doesn't look so bad. It's just been the giant trading range for the longest time. YM. That was an impressive move up on YM, but it led the way down. And I think, McGraw, I think you even asked me at the beginning of the week, would this be the best one? And we talked about the fact that it came down, leading the way down and accelerated right into a prior pivot low like that. And it had a nice little pop there, and not coming down as badly as the others, but Bitcoin, woohoo, getting shellacked. How did we get the XY on here? What the euro going back down? Jeez, it just jiggles down there at the prior low. I don't think I would count on this making it. Just be a bad bet to count on this going down a lot lower, considering being at support, being down as much as it is. It's just not that it can't. It's just maybe intraday it gets down here. I mentioned the dollar, so this is going to be going down, and you can see everything else of the future currency futures are going down. So why is the dollar going up? It sure can't be because of confidence in the current administration. I would imagine it's more about the belief that the Fed, I don't know why they would think that, but currencies are tied to interest rates, and short-term interest rates aren't going up. We wouldn't think anytime soon. Inflation creates a strong dollar. Maybe. So to add insult to injury, as far as whatever the market is correcting here, stronger dollar, U.S. companies become less competitive, pricing goes up, and if you take it so far into thinking their earnings will become less, and it would make sense for their stock prices to go down. And international companies, right? Like, remember that movie with John Travolta, and they asked him what the Big Mac is or something in Europe. McDonald's sure not getting hurt here. Yeah, you, Steve. Royale. Yeah, I love that movie. And hey, September, October. I mean, we talked about this, a while ago, and the typical pattern is playing out, just like what's happening here, is that you get a move down, you get some kind of a rally, and we're getting closer to the end of the month here. Maybe this jiggles around a bit. You get the next wave down in October, and it makes a low, and giant opportunity awaits us in the coming month or so, right? All right. What do we have left to look at here? Gold, oil. Who knows, Deb? We'll find out when it gets there, up at the top of the range. I don't know how low it's going to go. Nobody knows how low. We'd have to go out there and go on to Fiverr, and for $5 or $10, hire an Elliott wave guy, and he could give us some wave calculations as to how low it'll go. But we could find another wave guy that's got the calculations going up. So I think we better stay away from there. Nah, I can't go to zero. So this is a nice move up. Let's okay, stop the joking. It depends now how far this is, from here to here, it's less than 50%, and it's up into this resistance. It's going to stop. Went up there nicely. We got to see what the turn looks like. Right now, we know, this doesn't give us data, but we know the gap down on the S&P is relatively significant, and the Qs. So I would think that the Dow maybe doesn't go down as much, and that's typically the case. So it doesn't look so bad to the public, but I could imagine tagging the 200 MA going down there. A lot of stuff going on here. I scrunched it up. Maybe this low. I mean, we look to the left, right? Just look to the left. Just imagine this turn. As it comes down, there'll be buyers here. And during a corrective process, odds are it's going to go through it. And so it could be somewhere here, somewhere in between this area. And then, we get our calculators out and say, 5%, 7-8%, 200 MA, closer to 10%. I've got no reason to think it's going down there, but you just look at downside targets and look to the left. Where are our stopping points? And where will it stop? Yeah. That's odd, Ken, because last I looked, old Sam Adams, if that's the right, was getting shellacked. That looks like nobody, I think probably coronavirus is in the beer. I don't know. I think, it's Boston beer. What's up with that? All right. Gold is down too. It's just been a mess. And down. And 440 gapping down there. That's a bearish open. There's no argument there. Anybody can say there's anything positive about that. We'll see if buyers want to step up in front of that. Yeah. And bonds taking a nosedive. Sell. So we'll see how far it goes. It's Friday. And see where the action stops. All yours, Dan.
See where the action stops. Think about that one.
Well, last Friday, it was like dead for the last 2 hours. So internals. So it has been sentiment is getting consistently more bearish for several months now. And, breadth popped up above zero, which is neutral, but usually in a downtrend, that's about as far as it gets. So we had the little pop. I said at the beginning of the week, we got a weak buy signal, and I would love to see this continue down if this correction goes to push this down here, which will be the first time in a long time. And I think it will be, wherever we get the next turn, it'll be all in.
All right, so yeah, ugly gap down. And yeah, whoever said they expect a down day today, yesterday I agreed with you. Rally to resistance, so on and so forth. I think the big news is, China again with the Evergrande thing. They're, talking about unwinding it now. But the big, China's, communism. Don't mess with China. they got on with this crypto, banning it. You can't buy or sell it. They say, well, we'll let you hold it. And, Scaramucci comes on. And I'm like, oh no, I can't wait to see what this slime ball is going to say. And Kramer cracked me up today because Kramer and I think identical about what's going on with what China did. We're both like, how can you ban all these millions and millions of people, which is demand, right, from a product, and how can that be bullish? And Kramer's funny. He says the crypto bulls. He says you could have every country in the world outlaw it, and they'll sit around saying, "Oh, that's good news because then we can trade it on Mars." And that's how Scaramucci was. He's like, "Oh, don't worry. This is a buying opportunity." It's a cult. You got Tesla cult people. You got crypto cults. Does not matter what the news is. They're it's a store of value. It's blah blah blah. So anyway, Apple cult, absolutely. All right, so the crypto stocks are going to get whacked here. So here's Mr. gapping down to the prior range, nothing to do. Mara, Riot. There's just I don't see any tradable patterns anywhere. Block, VITW, but they're getting whacked. All right. Let's see, in terms of our opens, we have Netflix put spread expiring today. It looks fine. We have RCL. Thomas here is asking about CCL. We've been talking about airlines and cruise ships a lot, and RCL is the best pattern. Everyone keeps asking me about CCL. It's up at resistance. The weekly, it's lagging. RCL was the best pattern. I mean, hands down. You got all these rising MAs. You got inverse head and shoulders. So it's down a little bit here with the market, but I like RCL the best. Hawaiian was the best looking airline. I challenge anyone to find me a better one. We did find a couple more yesterday that I did put on my watch. ALK, trading range daily, but it's a buy setup on the monthly. Reinhard Air, so 1, 2, 3 on the weekly. Like that one. I'll probably put that in the weekend letter. Save was a breakout yesterday. That was tradable. So those are the best airlines. I like RCL the best. All right, so Roku, we have a 320 put spread, expires today, courtesy of Wells Fargo Bank. Gapping down here on a downgrade. We still got $6 here. It's stabilizing right here on minor support, but I'll keep an eye on it. Oh, CCL had earnings. All right, I missed them. Nike's getting whacked on earnings. 150. Wow, that's a big ugly thing. I mentioned in last weekend's letter, it looked like a short, but it had earnings. Oh, and Jeremy Siegel was on today, the Wharton professor, and he was also, I'm not sure if he was talking about crypto, but I heard him talking about inflation, and he's just saying it's disagreeing with the Fed again. Everyone is. That inflation is real. It's going to get worse. It's and if the Fed has to panic and start raising interest rates to curb inflation, then he said, yeah, that's going to be a problem for the stock market. Yeah, Raul and Facebook is saying there's a running joke in the crypto community about China banning Bitcoin. China banned Bitcoin countless times now. Yeah, you know, Scaramucci said something like that too when he was defending it. He's like, oh, nothing's new. Well, I don't know. We'll see. JR is going to put spread in a firm. It's very strong. Let's see your strikes. You're saying 120, 110? No, I would do the 110s or 112.50s, 110s, 110s. Well, wait, 120 is too tight for me. Unless it's 0 DTE, because then it's under this 15-minute base. 0 DTE is fine if you're going out a week. That scares me. Everything scares me with the market turning. Devon, now it's a nice breakout, daily, weekly, monthly. It's far from 20 now. You need a pullback. But wow, that's made an amazing recovery. Jim, Tesla, yeah, so today's 0 DTE day. So we will definitely be looking for 0 DTEs, and you know, I'm probably on the call side, but we'll do it on anything with the right pattern, call or put. So Tesla 770, 760, 30-minute low, definitely. Yeah, it's right over here over yesterday's high. Yeah. You know, we want to, with the big gap down, we want to see how much we're going to bounce at the open. That's the factory work, right? Oh, back to Scaramucci. He was, I didn't know he did this. He said this is his new crypto fund. So, you know, the SEC has not allowed any pure Bitcoin ETF fund yet. So when you hear any Bitcoin fund, it's just, you got the 10 currencies, which is BITW, and then block and everything. I guess now CPERT here, CTRP for crypto is where the acronym came from. They're just stocks and things. All right, so that we'll start watching it. Why not? And you know what this is telling me, folks? And I remember we had an amazing talk in here, folks, and I wish I acted on it. Greg, tell me if you remember this conversation. This tail is real. And this is BITW, which is the 10 cryptos, right? And in the green room, we went through all 10 of them. And we said, I was pounding the table saying, folks, this makes absolutely no sense because the underlines were not doing this. And you know, it wasn't shortable, but I was pounding the table saying, this thing's coming down. And look at that. And it's a weekly chart. So, you know, a day or 2 or 3 later, look at that thing came crashing down. So that I got that same kind of thought in my head right now, that this looks like a little exuberance because I don't know, you know, we'd have to go see what's in this underlying, but I'm venturing to say that the underlyings didn't rally that much. But wow, that BITW, you know, Greg, when we see opportunity like that, we've got to figure out a way, even though it wasn't shortable, we've got to find a way to capitalize on our knowledge. You know, same with the financial crisis. I thought things were going to come crashing down. I wanted to short those derivatives, but I didn't know how. I was asking my hedge fund guy, how do I short these derivatives? And you had to go to Goldman to create a custom product, is what those hedge funds did. They created a product for them, and I'm not a big enough player to go to Goldman and say, hey, I want in on these derivative shorts. MDP here, it's gapping up huge on a rumor, on a buyout rumor. Wouldn't that piss you off if you're trying to buy something and then now this gap up's going to mess up your price, I would think, right? Yeah, they created products. Exactly right. I mean, we could short banks and housing stocks and the ratings agencies, I get that, but I was bearish as can be in those toxic mortgages. So I should have shorted banks because those are the ones that held that junk. All right, here's a big gap breakout. We'll come back to you. That's a beautiful pre-market buy setup. It's gapping to 14, which is kind of excessive, but that's a beautiful pre-market. Let me put that over here, AEHR. Well, yeah, I mean, customized product, it depends on what level you're talking about. You and me just having a bet of you taking the other side of my bet, we can do that. Or if you want a product, who's going to take the other side? Tick under 1,000, opening up. Camp, ugly downtrend, ugly gap, looks lower. Air. Air, why am I looking at air? I don't know, maybe it had earnings. Mountain had earnings, gapping down. 30-minute low, you could get a day trade short. Show, no pattern. Exactly. Nike, I don't know what to do. We got to let them settle down. Costco, I had my money on the downside, but it's now, this is a type of pattern. Whichever way it breaks will be support if it goes up and resistance if it goes down. So this one could turn into a put spread for the 0 DTE. So I'm going to put that in a window. That's a possibility. Hey, look at our RCL, relative strength. See that, folks? See that? Lack. I like 10-minute low, Scott. 10-minute low, it's a little bear flags. Well, a typical bear flags in a downtrend, but yeah, I had 10-minute low. I like it. I'm going to put it in the window. Let's see our Netflix put spread. I had tightened the stop yesterday. 585.70. So we're still $10 away. Yeah, Costco moving. Let's